All right, all right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here. One day late. Yesterday, feeling a bit under the weather, so we postponed it until today. But yeah, we are doing our month in review here, our arena review. My month in what I have played on Board Game Arena. Excuse me. Not too many games. Hey, Dennis, thank you for the well wishes yesterday. I appreciate that. Thankfully, it was only a 24-hour thing, at least for me. My daughter still kind of stuck around with her a little bit longer than 24 hours, but at least for me, it was a 24-hour thing. So, thankfully, nothing too bad. But yeah, this month, got some stuff played on Board Game Arena. Hey, Patrick, thanks for coming in here. Not as much as I did last month, just because we had a lot of in-person games this month. If you tuned in on Friday, you saw that we had 52 in-person games, which was much less than my 15, 27 plays of 15 games here on Board Game Arena. Hey, Ian, thanks. Thank you. Feeling much better. And hey, Pat, yes, half of D&D. That is correct. Might there be a WWE game in Board Game Arena? You know what? Whenever we jump over to that screen view, we will look it up. I'm going to say no, but we'll see. I'm gonna say no, but not sure. We'll check whenever we go to that next screen there. So yeah, like I said, not as many virtual plays this month, just because we had so many IRL plays, and my phone was put away for most of that. If you ask Devin or Joe, they will tell you that my phone was out for all of that, but we don't believe them. Maybe we believe them a little bit. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get over to our other screen here, and we will see a little bit of Board Game Arena. Okay, so here we go. Here is our Board Game Arena. Let me just get things here. Let me get my little notes over here, just so that I have that out. Perfect. So that I can see the chat and see, is that working? There we go. I think that works. Okay, I should be able to see the chat and all the games that I had played this month. All right, so yeah, here we are on Board Game Arena, and like I say at the beginning of every one of these, this is Board Game Arena. If you are not a member, or if you don't have an account on Board Game Arena, or if you don't know what it is just a virtual platform for you to go on and play board games. There are all types of board games on here. Ken, you asked if there's a WWE game. I don't see any. Typing that in there. Wrestling, I don't see anything for wrestling. I don't think all-time wrestling is on here. It's not. If you could maybe come up with some specific games, we could type that in. There is no Royal Rumble one on there either. So I'm going to go ahead and say no. But they are always adding new games on here as well. So that is Board Game Arena. I have a premium account. You do not need a premium account to play the games on here. But if you do have one, you can play any of the games. And if you don't have one, you just have to be invited by somebody that does have one. So that is my little spiel here on Board Game Arena. And I will go ahead and put my username right up here on the screen, and I will drop it in the chat. Putting it on the screen, not because I forgot it, of course not, but so that you guys can see it. So that is my username. If you want to add me, go ahead and add me on there. I'm more than happy to play games with people. I usually have a couple going on at any time. Feel free to start up anything. I can start up anything, and we can do that. So let's go ahead and get into the arena review. We're going to do this in order of my most played down to my least played, just because that's what I have up here. And we're going to go ahead and get started with Let's Go to Japan. This is my most played game this month. And honestly, that's because it just came out here in beta. I have been playing this game a ton on Board Game Arena with Ian and with Patrick, their first Genesis. And I've been playing a lot of it solo, honestly. This is a game that is very easy on the brain when it's on Board Game Arena. You don't have to you don't have to remember much when you're playing the game. You can just kind of look at the board state and then get a really quick refresh of what's going on, and then you can take your action, and then you don't have to really think about it anymore. So this has been a terrific one to see here on Board Game Arena. This really is a great game, Ian. I've played it, I want to say 3 or 4 times with my physical copy, and I've played it way more here digitally. And I think I prefer the digital version better. Not that there's a ton of upkeep or anything in the physical game, but, you know, not having to tuck the cards, to look at the cards, to, you know, move them a little bit. You know, that's a nice part about it. So this is Let's Go to Japan. You are planning a trip to Japan to 2 sections, either Tokyo, which are these blue cards, or Kyoto, which are the pink cards. And you have these yellow ones that are kind of your wilds. And so what you're doing is you're planning day by day, starting on Monday, going all the way to Saturday. On each of these days, you're trying to hit some type of activity. So like on Monday, you've got food. You want to hit different types of foods and restaurants. On Tuesday, you want to do some shopping. Wednesday, you want to have some conversations. Thursday, you want to save some money and maybe get some happiness, I think is what it is, or gain some energy. That's what it is. Friday, you want to hit some temples, and then Saturday, I think that's gardens. You want to hit some types of gardens. Look at that, Ian and Patrick. Good job. You guys go ahead and get some games together. And then we can all get some games in together. But so you're trying to match these symbols with certain days. Depending on how many symbols you match, you get some bonuses. You can switch back and forth between Tokyo and Kyoto, but if you do switch off, you need a train. So you start off with 1 train ticket. You can gain more train tickets throughout the game, but if you don't have any train tickets, it's minus victory points. It's not a ton, it's -2. So if you are missing quite a bit of train tokens, it can hurt you. But if you're missing one or two, it's not that terrible. So you'll be playing these, and then you can kind of place them in any order that you want. The card that is showing is actually the card that you'll score. So in order to score this one here, this person needs 4 of these money saver symbols before they reach this card, and they have it. See, they've got 2 here on Tuesday, and then 3 here on Thursday. So they'll score this card, get 12 victory points there. Ian, I agree with you. I like the scoring on BGA being automatic. It is much easier for them to calculate it that way. You do like being able to analyze the cards in person. Yeah, you know, honestly, when I look at the cards, I just kind of look at them. I know in reality, I've only got like 2 out of the 4 choices, 2 out of the 4 cards at most that I can make use of. And I just kind of pick the better one out of those. Then you've got this little track here. Once you get every time that you get one of these tokens, you move up. Once you reach the 4, you get 4 victory points, so on and so forth. And then at the end, whoever has the most cards wins. Or I'm sorry, whoever has the most victory points wins. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this one. I really like it a lot here on BGA. And honestly, this one, for only being out for about a month now, it has quickly risen up to one of my most played Board Game Arena games of the year. Now, with that being said, I only really did start tracking Board Game Arena plays probably in the summer, so not a ton of time that I've been tracking the Board Game Arena ones. But, you know, since June-ish, That's quite a bit of plays that I've had of a game for it to move into one of my most plays in just under a month. So, yeah, that is Board Game Arena. I'm sorry, that is Let's Go to Japan on Board Game Arena. Okay. Another one that is new and in beta, and that is Stone Spine Architects. Another one that just came out this month, and another one that I've been getting a ton of plays in. Look at that. Let's Go to Japan and Stone Spine Architects, 2 games that were released this year, and I've just been playing a lot here on online. I feel like this one, very similar to Let's Go to Japan in that it's very easy to remember what I'm doing in turn to turn. So playing asynchronously, I don't have to keep a ton in my brain. I can just kind of look at the board state, look at my blueprints, look at just kind of what I have there, and then make my decision. Now, with that being said, there is a lot of little things that you really have to pay attention to. All of the little symbols, paying attention to the actual paths that are going out. So while I say there's, you just kind of look at the board state and see where you're at, there is quite a bit you have to look at. But none of the information is going to change from turn to turn, or none of the information that you can see is going to be hidden information. So in Stone Spine Architects, you are dungeon builders, dungeon designers, dungeon architects, and you're building out dungeons. Board Game Arena does not require a lot of RAM. It is just a web-based app, so it is just a website. Tabletop Simulator uses a ton of RAM. This one, not at all. I use Board Game Arena on my cell phone all the time, and it works perfectly smooth. I would definitely recommend it. Tabletop Simulator is more of a board game feel because you are having to control everything, keep track of the rules and all that kind of stuff. On Board Game Arena, it does everything for you. But it is just a web-based app, so as long as you can access a website, it will not crash on you. So in Stone Spine Architects here, you are designing a dungeon. You are given a blueprint right here, and you are going to be drafting cards. So on your turn, you'll have, I forget how many cards, 5 or 6, probably changes depending on player. And you're going to keep one, then you're going to discard one, pass the cards to the next person. Now, when you're designing this dungeon here, you can notice that this first cell, we'll call it, needs to have a treasure box in it or a treasure chest in it. If there is a treasure chest in there, you get a check mark. This third one here needs this type of terrain. This one needs one of these slime. This one needs the ooze cube, whatever they're called. I know they're called something. This one here needs gelatinous cube. That's what it's called. This one here needs the some type of star. And then you also want to, as best as you can, connect your entrance to the exit of the dungeon. What I really enjoy about this on Board Game Arena is you can click Show Path, and it shows your path. The few times that I've played this one in person, because I do have this game in person as well, I'm looking at my, 4x4 and just trying to figure out, yeah, that works. No, that doesn't work. Wait, did this one work? I don't remember. So you're kind of like just having to keep in your head which ones worked and which one didn't. It's not a huge deal, but it can get kind of annoying. At the end of every round, once you've drafted all your cards, you have the option to buy some tokens from the market, and these tokens can just be different monsters, it can be treasure chests, different types of traps. It can be these secret passageways, which allow you to build tunnels between rooms that are not connected. So I could put a secret passageway here, and then all of a sudden those would be connected. So if for some reason you didn't get the card that you needed, there are ways to connect it. I've really enjoyed this one. This one has been a ton of fun to play digitally. It is one that I want to play in person more, because playing it digitally has been so much fun. I really enjoy it. It is a good game. It's set in the... Is it set in the role player universe? Yes, I believe it is set in the role player universe. It is designed, or it's published by Thunderworks Games. When this game was coming out, I kind of heard it referred to as cartographers, but drafting, instead of like a roll and write. It's you're building out your kind of dungeon and you're looking for certain scoring things. At the end of every round, you're going to be getting some type of new challenge that you'll be scoring. So you're picking your own scoring conditions at the end of the game, or as best as you can. And then you just score everything at the end. Again, whoever has the most victory points is the winner. Yes, it is part of the role player universe. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, with all the gnolls and the kobolds and all that stuff, they're in all their games. So makes total sense that it is in the same universe. 5 cards to start each round. You always have one more card than the number of spaces available on the row. Makes sense. So if you're playing with 2 players, that's why you discard one. If you're playing with more, I guess you just keep them instead of discarding them. So awesome. That is Stone Spine Architects. Really enjoy that one. Been having a great time with it. And that one kind of climbing up the ranks as well of some of my most played ones. Discard one, but you get one drafted. Makes sense. Planet Unknown. I think I played this one solo this month. I can check real quick. Oh, it looks like I had 2 plays of it. Yeah, I played it solo and then with Ian. That was my other game. I've talked about this one quite a bit, so we won't get into it too much. I believe I've been playing this one quite a bit lately. But Planet Unknown is a polyomino tile placement game where you're drafting different tiles from Susan, the Lazy Susan. And this is a rotating Lazy Susan in person. But you get to decide which section you would like to draft from. At least in the in-person game you can. I think there's a setting on Board Game Arena which just goes to the next depot, which that's a variant that you can do as well. But you will draft one of the tiles, and then you will get to move up both of those tracks, so both of those actions. So this person right now, they just drafted this blue and red tile. So they went up the water track, and they went up the red track, which allows their rover to move, which is what they're doing right now, and they're picking up meteorites. You will score at the end of the game for complete rows and columns that do not have meteorites or meteors. Now, they're meteorites on them. So if this person completes this entire column here, and there's no meteorites, they will score 3 victory points. And then if they score this one here, they'll score 3 victory points as well. So it's just a cool little puzzle of trying to figure out which tiles you want to draft. I really like the game wherever you are picking which depot you want to select from, because that adds some gaminess to it. It makes your decision actually matter. You're not just getting the next random section of the Lazy Susan. So that's really cool. And that also applies not pressure, but that also you can go another way where you give your opponent something that you know that they don't need, or you can give them something like a meteorite that might affect their scoring. So I really enjoy that aspect of the game. I really like that there are some asynchronous abilities with the maps. So this person here, they're just playing with the universal ones. I think both of them are, yeah. So both people here are just playing with the universal maps. You can have one person have the asynchronous ones. You can have the other person with the universal one. You can combine them however you want. So A lot of replayability in this game. There's a comment there that said this game was garbage. It was pretty funny. But yeah, so this is a really fun tile placement polyomino game. Oh, this person's getting upset in the comments there. All right. Planet Unknown. Next up, we have Fromage. Another game that was in beta. But this one's been on Board Game Arena for, I want to say, a month and a half, maybe 2 months now. I think at least since the beginning of November. I don't remember when, but I know I've seen it for quite some time on Board Game Arena. If you did not watch our top new games of 2024, Fromage made both Devin and my list of new releases of this year. Fromage is a worker placement game. Oh no, the game ended. Well, we can still look here at the final situation. Yeah. Fromage is a worker placement game where there are 4 different sections to the board. Let me see if I can zoom out so that we can see the whole board. Oh, well, there you go. This one has been out for much longer than November. It looks like it was back out in July. So Fromage is a worker placement game where you have 3 workers, and those 3 workers represent 3 different type of cheese makers. So you have a blue cheese, a yellow cheese, and a white cheese. And on your turn, what you are doing is you are doing one of 4 mini games. Okay, so this section here, let's say I'm sitting at a table and this section is right in front of me. This is the only section that I need to worry about. So in this section here in the bistro, what you are doing is you are trying to do 2 things. You're trying to get pairs at a table, and then you're trying to get different color plates. So if you have 0 pairs at a table, all your red plates score 0 points, your silver plates score 2 points, and your gold plates score 4 points. If you have 1 pair at a table, red is 1, silver is 3, yellow is 5, or gold is 5, 2, 3, so on and so forth. So this person has 1 pair. So their reds will score 1, 3, and 5. They also have, so that's how they'll score those ones. Same thing for white here. The white player will have that. You'll notice that each of these cheeses is facing a different direction. So if it's facing to the right, it's age 1. If it's facing to up, it's an age 2. And if it's facing to the left, it's an age 3. That's how many turns it's going to take for that cheese, that worker, to come back to you. If I were to place this cheese here, when this board rotates, because it's on a Lazy Susan, just like Planet Unknown, when it rotates, this cheese is now facing me, and any cheeses that are facing me come back to me. So if I was the red player, this cheese would be facing me, this cheese would be facing me, they would come back to my play area. This section over here is the festival. Basically, you are just trying to create a pathway, the longest pathway that you can. So this is the red player. So the red player, they have, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connecting cheeses. So that looks like it's 9 points, right? This mini game over here is you're trying to have cheeses on different shelves. And then this one over here is some type of area control that you got going on. In the middle, this is how you gather resources. So it seems kind of like a lot. It's really honestly not. I did not do a good job at the teach right there. But whenever we sat down to play this game, we actually played it in person the very first time. And when we played this game, the guy that taught it to us, Michael, he taught it to us within 10 minutes. Literally, he had just gotten the game. He was still kind of referencing the rule book, and he was able to just answer everything very quickly and very clearly. This game can be taught to anybody that knows anything about games. All right, if you know any type of mechanics, set collection, making lines, area control, if you know those things, you know how to do all 4 of these sections. The board game arena implementation of it, while it is great, it is not my favorite. I really enjoyed the in-person aspect of it, of watching the board turn, of actually getting to do your placement while everybody else is kind of doing theirs. I like the simultaneous play of it. So while the implementation here on Board Game Arena is great, not my favorite way to play the game. I would still play it on here, but I do think that the in-person version of this game much better. All right, up next we have Seven Wonders Duel. You've probably heard me talk about it. This is one of my favorite games of all time. It's definitely one of my favorite two-player games. My voice is going out. But for some reason, I cannot win this game when I play Steve. Steve, if you're watching this, you have beaten me, I think, every single game, and it kills me. It honestly kills me. I don't know what it is, why I can't beat you. But Seven Wonders Duel, this is a duel game. It's a very much tug-of-war game where there are 3 winning conditions. You can either win on a war, you can win on a, what do they call it? Scientific victory, or you can win a blue victory, which I think is philosophy. So to get these red ones here, you draw these red cards. You move the war track, whatever, how many ever spaces are shown on the card. To get the scientific victory, you need to get 6 different symbols. So this person has 3 of the 6 symbols here. And then the other victory is just blue cards, which are just victory points. I think the base game of this one is terrific. I will play with expansions. I do not think that this game needs any expansions. To me, the base game of this one is a perfect game. Very, very good. Really, really enjoyable. Now, with that being said, I did just play Lord of the Rings Duel, the re-implementation of Seven Wonders, and that game was absolutely fantastic. We posted our playthrough of it today, and I was blown away by that game. As much as I love Seven Wonders Duel, Lord of the Rings Duel was just a little bit better. But Seven Wonders Duel, I will play it anytime. Absolutely love this game. Terrific. Up next, Far Away. I actually got 2 games of this in this month. Actually just finished one of them today, and I am terrible at this game. Although today's game I did decent, but in general, I am terrible at Far Away. And I think this goes back to kind of what I was saying earlier. This game is, for how small of a footprint it is, in person, it's actually very strategic, and there's a lot to kind of keep in your mind. So when you're playing it asynchronously, you kind of have to remember exactly what you did and exactly what you were going to be doing. How this game plays is you are going on a journey, I believe, and you start off here and then you make your way all the way down a journey, and then you score from the end back to the start. So this card right here, number 58, in order for this card to score, he needs 3 of these red icons before we get back to this one. So what that really means is he needs 3 of these red icons in front of that card. Right now, he only has 1. He's got 2 more right up here. So he's going to be able to score that card. In order to score this one, he needs 2 blues and a red. He's got 2 blues and a red. Right, so you really have to plan ahead and think about exactly which symbols you have, how many of those symbols you have, and if you're going to be able to score those cards in the end. So every time I've played it, I don't know, maybe I'm just not paying close enough attention to the symbols that I have. Maybe I'm just kind of remembering that I have something that I really don't. But I've always just kind of had a difficult time scoring well in this game. Today, playing it though, like I said, I ended up doing pretty well. So it's one that I'll keep playing. It's not my favorite, but it's a decent game. 1 second, my throat killing me. All right, sorry about that. Don't know what's going on there. I was going to say I haven't talked in a while, but Friday we did a 3-hour stream, so, and I was teaching all day today, so maybe that's why my voice is going out. All right, next up, Path of Civilization. This is a new game on Board Game Arena, but not a new game that I played. This is a Civ game. You're building out a civilization. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I really enjoyed this game in person. I did not really enjoy it here on Board Game Arena. If you just look at it, there is so much on this screen. So much iconography, so many different symbols. This is how many rounds you're playing at the top. And so at the end of every round, you are doing something for every single one of these cards. Now, maybe if I played this game in person more, I would be able to recognize what these things are without having to read this paragraph of text. I don't know. Playing it was just a little bit too much for what I wanted on Board Game Arena. Again, a lot of the games that I play on here are, I don't want to call them mindless, but they're ones that I don't have to plan too much for, or ones that I know very well, like a Terraforming Mars or a Feast for Odin. So while I do enjoy this game, definitely not my favorite to play on Board Game Arena. But how the game works is you start off with 5 cards, and then you're going to place them here on your board. The cards that you play on this side, you will get the resource cubes for them. The cards you play on this side, you get the resource bumps for them. You will spend these track points on new cards right here. And these cards give you victory points, more resource cubes. You spend those resource cubes to get leaders, to get wonders, to power up your army, I believe is what it is, and then to gain worship points here. So it's got all the things of Civ games, you know, all the things that all those games have. Again, overall, I think this is a really fun game in person. Honestly, probably one of my favorite Civ games in person. But unless I played it more in person, this is not one that I will probably go back to on Board Game Arena. So that is Path of Civilization. Talking about A Feast for Odin. We won't talk about this one too much because I've talked about it quite a bit. But Feast for Odin. This is Uwe Rosenberg's worker placement game. I was going to say biggest worker placement, but I think Fields of Arle is bigger than this one. But this is just a worker placement game where you've got all of these available spots for workers. You increase your worker count at the end of every round. There is polyomino tile placement where you are placing things on your tile here in order to increase your income, possibly get some types of bonuses. You're playing occupation cards that will give you victory points and extra abilities, gaining ships so that you can go whaling, go pillaging, all those kind of things. And then you're having to feed your Vikings at the end of every round, just so that you can feed them, right? They need to eat. So, and if you play any UE games, you know that you have to feed your workers at the end of the round. So, Feast for Odin. If you watched Devin and my top worker placement games, this was both of our number one, just because this is a fantastic one. You know, I've said for Path of Civilization and other games when I play Board Game Arena, I don't want too many symbols, too many icons. This one to me is an exception because I've played this one in person so many times. There was a time period where Devin was coming over here once a week, every Sunday after our bike ride, and we would play A Feast for Odin. This or Terraforming Mars, those were the two games that we would just play, and we would literally just play it weekly, just getting better at it. So this is a game that I don't have to stare at, that I don't have to, read what every action is. I see the symbols, I know what it is, and just play the game from there. So yeah, Patrick, still waiting for Norwegians as well. I don't know if it will ever be on here. I was going to say the game is just as good without Norwegians. It's not, but it still gets me that fix of A Feast for Odin. So I will play that one anytime. All right, up next we have Architects of the West Kingdom. So I was in a tournament for Architects of the West Kingdom. It was put on by the Garfield Games Discord channel. And so they started a tournament for this. It was what was it? I think you played 3 games. Everybody played 3 games. Then it was the semifinals. Then it was the finals. So I went in, I won my first 2 games, and then I came in second in the 3rd game. So I ended up qualifying for the semifinals. In the semifinals, I played people from across the world, somebody from Italy, 2 people from Australia. No, 1 person from Australia, I believe. And then somebody from... it's either Canada or the United States. I don't remember. And then it was me, and I got absolutely demolished in my semifinal game. So, like I said, I won the first 2, came in second and third one, got crushed on the last game in the semifinals. This is another worker placement game where it's more of a worker investment. The more workers that you have in a spot, the stronger that action becomes. So here, purple would be getting 3 stone. If they put another worker there, they'll be getting 4 stone. So each action improves the more workers that you have there. You have this section here where you can build on the cathedral. You have your apprentices here, which just give you modifiers to your action, or they kind of boost your actions a little bit. So for this one, anytime you go to the black market, you also get some stone. You have your virtue track over here, which is if you're a goodie or a baddie, basically. And yeah, I had a ton of fun with this game. This game, much better with the expansions. Unfortunately, the expansions are not here on Board Game Arena. I still very much enjoy the base game of this one, but it's definitely one that is better with the expansions. I think the Board Game Arena implementation of it is done really well. I do think I had my fix on playing this one digitally, at least asynchronous I did. In person, this game is very snappy. Turns are very quick. And this is one that you should have a pretty good plan. But it's hard to make that plan because the board state changes constantly. So playing this one asynchronously, you're going to take a lot of time to look at the board state and really figure out what the best move is. So if I'm going to play this one, I would much rather play it live or just on the table. But overall, it's a terrific game. I absolutely love Architects of the West Kingdom. Let's see. We have Forest Shuffle. I feel like I've talked about Forest Shuffle quite a bit lately as well. But Forest Shuffle is a tableau builder where you're building out a little forest. I actually got to play this one with the expansion, and I thought it was good. I really enjoyed that expansion. Honestly, this game, huge surprise for me this year. Really, really enjoyed it. I think I mentioned it before. It kind of reminds me of Creature Caravan in a way that you were just building out this tableau and just trying to find your end game scoring, trying to make the best end game scoring that you can. So you're going to be planting these trees, and then you're going to be playing animals off of the trees. So you have birds, butterflies, all sorts of stuff that can go on the top, deers, wolves, rabbits, bats, all the things that can go off the sides, maybe some other type of plants, crickets, insects, other stuff that goes underneath it. And they just score based on what you have. So like this one is 3 points for every bird that you have. This tree is 5 points if you have at least 4 beeches in your forest, or breaches. I'm not sure what this says. Beach. So you're going to be kind of digging for these cards in a giant stack. You're going to be discarding some cards, and hopefully your opponent discards a card that you need so that you can draft it. I just think it's done really well. The drafting mechanic is really fun. And then again, just getting that kind of hit of adrenaline of like, ooh, this is the exact card that I need. And then in order to plant these cards or to put these animals down, you have to discard cards. So, your cards are your currency as well of, ooh, I really want to play this, but I also really need to play this one. So I'm going to discard these ones in order to do that action. So I've had a ton of fun with this one. The expansions, they just add different kind of scoring mechanics, make some other options a little bit more viable. And yeah, that is Forest Shuffle. Been having a ton of fun with that one. Excuse me. What do we have next? All right, another one. Draft and Write Records. I got to play this one for the first time over the summer, I believe, or maybe towards like August, with Ian. Ian showed me this game, and I really enjoyed playing this one. But the more that I play it, the more I realize just how bad at this game I am. Or maybe just the fact that maybe I just don't understand the game. Or maybe that other people are just so much better than me at this game. I don't know what it is. In this game, you have these goal cards up here. And then you've got all these different sections. This is a draft and write game where you're drafting different cards. I don't know if you can see the cards here on this mode. But you are filling in different band members or touring members. You're filling out your tour, so which stadiums you're going to be hitting. You're filling out your agendas, your calendars, your hits, your singles, your albums, filling out all of this stuff, and you're trying to just make these combos happen. Ian, I scored 233 against Mike and Jeff last month. Jeff mentioned it. Okay, so I did watch that video. That's funny that you say that. But I actually, the last game that we had, I didn't put the scores here on my Board Game Arena, but I know I got absolutely blown out. I want to say I barely cracked 100, and I think you or somebody, I don't remember who, they ended up cracking like 200 or something. Maybe that was the same game. That could have been the same game that I played with you. But yeah, got absolutely annihilated, and it just made me like really wonder, like, do I know what this game is? So with that being said, Hadrian's Wall for me is one of my favorite games. Absolutely love that one because of the combos and all of the things that you can bounce off. I want to try this one in person. Again, going back to all the iconography, all the little things, all the symbols, I want to be able to actually look at it and really see what I'm doing and figure out like, oh, this is triggering this to go over there and this is going to that. So maybe getting that like kinesthetic aspect of the game might be a little bit better than just clicking a section and then clicking another section, then clicking another one. So the game you were talking about was with Jenna and Jamie. Okay, yeah. I got destroyed in that game, and like I said, it really made me question, do I even know what's going on in this game? So I'd love to try it out in person. Because, yeah, I don't know. I've had great games on it, and then just absolute stinkers. So that is Draft and Write Records. Next up, played It's a Wonderful World. Haven't played this one in some time and got to play it. And man, I forgot how much I love this game. This is such a great, quick engine builder. I've said it before. I probably even said it on Friday. I am not the biggest engine builder fan, mainly because Devin is a terrific engine builder and extremely efficient. And I always get blown out in any engine builder. What I absolutely love about this one is it is only 4 rounds. There is no way to get your engine. You're not going to get blown out in this game. And if you do, the game lasted you 45 minutes, so it's fine. There's been a lot of engine builders that I've played where the game lasts 90 minutes, and I knew 30 minutes in, there was no way for me to catch up. With this game, you don't have that. But in this game, this is a drafting game where you are starting off with a hand of cards and you are keeping them. And then once you're done with the draft, you are either going to construct them. So you're going to put them down here next to your republic, or you're going to recycle them and you're going to get the resource that is here to the side. When you are drafting these buildings, it's super important to note which ones you're drafting just for the recycle, because there's no way that you can keep every single one of those cards and build every single one of those cards. You know, as I'm saying that, this is round 4. This person has 7 cards here, and there's no way that they're going to be able to build all of these cards. So, you know, they should have been recycling some to try to build up some other things. This game also, you have to be extremely deliberate in what you're building, because a lot of the buildings don't actually do anything for you, besides give you resources, but resources are nothing at the end of the game. You need to build some buildings that give you victory point conditions. So here you get 1 point for every one of these tokens. You get 3 victory points, 1 victory point, 1 victory point for every green card. So you want to build up some type of engine in order to score all these cards, in order to get multipliers. So like this person, they just built this 3 victory points for every green card, and then they have this 1 for every green card. So those are working in unison together there. I said this person wasn't going to build all of these, but they might build all of them, and if they do, I never want to play this person. Look at that. So they're not going to build these 2. That is a solid amount of buildings that this person just put up. 80 points. Very good. So that was them playing solo. And the solo in this game is it's just as good. You are drafting cards, you're keeping the ones that you want, you're recycling them, playing the same game that you would play multiplayer. But yeah, this game is a very fun engine builder that plays really, really quickly. And you just have to be very deliberate in your actions. Really enjoy that one. Cartographers, got to play this one once this month. I believe I got absolutely destroyed on it. I think that was the game. I don't remember why or what happened, but I wasn't getting the cards that I needed, obviously. Yeah, I don't really remember exactly. Oops, sorry about that. I don't remember exactly what happened in that game, but not my best game of Cartographers. I've talked about this one quite a bit, so not going to go too much into it, but you have these 4 different edicts, just 4 different scoring conditions. Each of them will score twice. You have summer, spring, winter, and fall, or maybe it starts off differently, but you go through all the seasons and then you score them differently. Closer than you remember. Okay, well that's good, Ian. Play so many games that I don't remember what anymore. But yeah, so you're just placing these different terrain tiles all over your board, trying to match them up to these scoring conditions and get the most victory points that you can. I know in the game that we played, we had tons of these ambush cards come out, and I want to say we had like 3 of them. And so we're just kind of, messing everybody up on there and putting them out. But yeah, this is a great game. I love the base game on this one. Again, Cartographers, same world as that Stone Spine Architects. When Stone Spine was coming out, people were comparing it here to Cartographers. So if you like Cartographers, definitely try out Stone Spine, which, now that I'm saying that, okay, yeah, it is in beta. So you should have access to it if you have a premium account. If not, let me know and we can play it. So had tons of ambushes in recent games. Yeah, there was a time period where we were playing and we'd have like no ambushes. It was only 16-point difference between first and third. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I guess that's not as bad as I remember. And then let's see. We had 2 more games here. I had 2 more games here. I played a round of Can't Stop. What was I doing? I probably had like 3 minutes to do something to spare or something like that, and just played a live game of Can't Stop. This is just a push your luck game where you're rolling dice and climbing up this ladder. First person to win 3 of the tracks is the winner. I love just pulling this game out and just press and go and press and go and press and go and press and go and not stopping to my demise most of the time. I'm not a real big press your luck kind of fan, but I really just enjoy Can't Stop for a mindless, quick game. So that's a really fun one. Really enjoy Can't Stop. And then very similar situation here for Super Mega Lucky Box. I think I played this one solo. I don't know what made me think of it, but I just said, let me just try it out solo. So this is kind of like a bingo in a way. You are flipping over cards, and then you're just crossing out those numbers. Anytime you complete rows or columns, you get some types of bonuses. The lightning symbols are modifiers for the numbers. The stars are set collections, and then the moons are majorities at the end of the game. And so you're just trying to complete these little cards and score victory points. If you finish any in the first round, you get 15 points. Second round, 12 points, 10 points, and then 8 points. And then just at the end, whoever has the most points is the winner. Playing this one solo, it's just crossing off numbers and getting points, beat your own high score kind of thing. Again, I put really no thought into it when I play it, and it's just something to do, crossing out numbers. So that is Super Mega Lucky Box. And that is all 15 games that I played this month on Board Game Arena. 27 total plays of those 15. And so, yeah, let's kind of see some new stuff that's on here and then talk about this month on Board Game Arena. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm probably not going to play a ton this month. I might. Never know. but I'm probably going to get a lot more on the table, hopefully. At least with my Christmas break coming up here in a couple weeks. That is the goal. But I say that I could definitely just play some games on the phone as well. So some new things here on Board Game Arena. Harvest was just released yesterday. It's been in beta for some time, but yeah, it just came out of beta yesterday. It says that they have the solo mode. I know that when it was in beta, the solo mode was not there. So that's nice. That's going to be a nice way to learn the game. I'll probably do that sometime this month. Amazingly easy to learn, hard to master game. Learn it in no time by going through the tutorial. So that's always nice that they have that. Our buddy Joe backed this game. He has the physical copy of it. He said that it's a good game, but it does nothing new, nothing that really kind of grabbed his attention. He said it's a solid worker placement game, but there are plenty of other games that he would pick before this one. I still want to give it a shot just to try it out and see what happens there. On Far Away, there is the expansion that was just released. I guess it looks like it was released November 29th. So a couple weeks ago, week and a half ago. And this just adds new cards onto there. Different scoring conditions, different symbols, all that kind of stuff. So if you do like Far Away, the expansion is on there as well. It's a Wonderful Kingdom. This one looks like it was announced December 4th, last week. This is the 2-player variant of It's a Wonderful World. I don't think It's a Wonderful World needed a 2-player version. I think It's a Wonderful World plays terrific at 2 players. I don't think it needed a 2-player version. I'm not sure exactly what it adds. Because again, I've never considered even playing it. But it says it offers more interaction, bluff mechanism, new challenges. I don't like bluffing in games. That's not what I'm into. Different modules, different phases, split and trap. Looks like a I split, you choose kind of thing. Yeah. Again, not really too interested in that one, but that one did get released recently. Rallyman Dirt. This is a racing game. One that I actually wanted to play in person. Not Rallyman Dirt, but Rallyman. I wanted to play this one at Board Game, at BGG Con. But honestly, just never got to it. So I would be willing to try this one. We always like racing games. Haven't played one here on BGA, so I'd be willing to give this one a shot. But yeah, that is really all of the new things in here. Ian, once I play the solo of Harvest, we could probably start off a game there. Acropolis, I have heard very good things of this game. I have never played this game. I know it's tile placement, but like you build on top of the tiles. I remember when the game came out, it had a ton of hype. I haven't heard too much else about it since, but it looks like one of the expansions just came out for it. So they're building cities. Theme revolves around gaining the favor of Athena, so on and so forth. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll try that one at some point. Let's see, Age of Innovation, Amalia, Gnome Hollow, another one that I've heard good things of. I know, Ian, you have played that one. You said it was surprisingly strategic. Might have to give that one a try. Actually, let me see. Is this one on? Is Nar on here? Nar. I've been hearing really good things about Nar. I'm going to play this one this month. If you know how to play this one, I will play it with you. I just need to learn it first. And it looks like they have a tutorial. So I am going to try and learn that. And let me see this rule book here. Let's see. Better not be long. Not a long rule book. I'm going to learn this, and I'm going to play Gnar this month. I've been hearing really good things about it, so we're going to try that one out. But other than that, that is all that I have for the arena review. I've heard great things about Gnar as well. I have not played it either. Good. So maybe that's one that you and I can try out together this month. But yeah, overall had a pretty decent month. Again, not as much as I've had in the past, but pretty decent month. Let's move this chat up. I don't know why it's so low. Yeah, and we'll see what I get played this month. Tomorrow, Devin has his solo stream coming up, and he's going to be streaming Carnegie. If you are into a super crunchy Euro, like all of Devin's games, tune into Carnegie. I actually very much enjoy Carnegie. This was a game that when we played it in 22, I think is when it came out, we were both kind of shocked at how good it was. It is a action selection game with a follow mechanic. So the current player, they choose the action, and then everybody does that action. And then the next turn, the other person chooses an action and everybody does that action. So it's got this really cool ebb and flow of, do I really need to do this action because it benefits me, but it also benefits my the person that I'm playing with, or can I do this action that's not as good for me, but it's absolutely terrible for the other person? So Carnegie's a really, really fun game in that way. Very interested in seeing how it plays solo, so I will definitely be tuning in to Devin's play of that. This Friday, we have a live playthrough. We are going to be playing Champions of Midgard. So that should be a fun one. We'll be playing with the expansions. So tune in, watch us chuck some dice and try to kill some monsters, I think is what it is. It's been a very long time since I played Champions of Midgard. And then, yeah, rest of the month is posted on there. And we will keep on posting stuff. And that is all that I have. Thank you guys for jumping on today. Thank you for all the well wishes. Definitely feeling better, although my voice is going away. That's okay. That's just what you get for talking. But yeah, other than that, tune in tomorrow to watch Devin's play. Tune in on Friday. And then that's all that we have. We appreciate you guys. As always, remember, like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff really does helps us grow. Until next time, have a good night.